Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's the CD guy, Johnny Z here. Thank you so much for tuning back into the channel. And today I'm back with another haul video here, but this time it is the biggest CD haul I've done on the channel so far. We've got like 30 CDs here added to the collection, plus a vinyl record as well. Let's get started. Let's kick things off here with Queen. Now, you guys know, if you've been following these haul videos, I've been looking for Queen CDs all year, and it's been very hard to find them at record shows, at record stores. For whatever reason, I just can't find Queen. And they're like one of the biggest bands in the world, so I didn't really understand why, but picked up finally 6 albums here by them. We've got The Miracle, great record. Made in Heaven, their final album here after Freddie Mercury's death. A Kind of Magic from 1986. The Works from 1984. Jazz. And, of course, News of the World. All great albums here, you know, and finally able to add to my Queen collection. And I believe the only one I still need is Queen 2. Now, I'm not sure if I should purchase that one now or wait for the rumored box set that's coming out. It's going to be remixed and remastered. I have to hear it first, but that's the only one I still need here now. So, really happy to finally add to my Queen collection and, you know, add 6 more. Next up, let's talk some new releases here. Finally able to pick up some new albums that, you know, came out earlier this year. And now I'm just finally getting around to adding them to the collection. So first off, we've got Silver Shade by Peter Murphy. Great art rock album here, you know, very experimental. Reminds me of later stage Bowie, so really enjoyed his latest offering. We've got The Squirrely Years revisited by Ministry, and you know, this is really interesting as well because, you know, when it comes to Ministry, this is the most compelling album they've released in many years. It's the band, Al Jourgensen specifically, revisiting those early synth pop era tracks and refining them, which they badly needed in my opinion. And so I think that he did a great job here on The Squirrely Years, and so I definitely had to pick this one up. Next up, we have More Balls to Picasso by Bruce Dickinson, the re-recording, well, not re-recording, but a remix, a remaster of Balls to Picasso with some added features here as well. And it's an album that I think was unnecessary, to be completely honest with you guys, but as a completist, I had to add this to the Dickinson collection, and I still prefer the original a bit more, but this is still pretty cool as well, so wanted to buy this. We've got Roger Waters, live in Prague 2023. This is not a drill tour, and this recently came out. Really love the set list on here. I was really pleased to see him do Two Suns in the Sunset, and if you saw the concert film for this in theaters, I'm also really jealous. That's really cool as well. But yeah, great live album here by Roger. We've got Candlemass and their new EP Black Star as well, featuring a killer cover of Sabbath Bloody Sabbath. Great stuff here by the doom metal legends. Hailstorm and their new record, Everest, as well. Did a short here on the channel reviewing it. If you want to check it out, it's over in the Shorts tab. Great new record here. A bit more heavy on the ballads, I would say, than their previous album, Back from the Dead, but still, great record. Lizzie Hale's vocals are phenomenal here as well, and I love the guitar solos here. And last but not least, we have An Insatiable Violence by Cryptopsy, currently my favorite death metal album of 2025. Those weren't the only somewhat newer releases I was able to find here, also picking up some albums from the last few years that, for whatever reason, I missed. So we've got Rock Flute by Jethro Tull. Great prog album there. And then The Sinner Rides Again by KK's Priest, KK Downing's project now, post-Judas Priest. And I really enjoyed the Sermons of the Sinner record, and I can't believe I didn't buy this when it came out. As a matter of fact, I had to check my inventory first, but I did not buy this when it came out. Really enjoyed it, though, so had to add it to the collection here. Eat the Elephant by A Perfect Circle. Really underrated record, I think. You know, it's not their best album, but I think people tend to overlook it a bit, and I really enjoy it, so wanted to add that one. This is interesting. Roger Waters, Dark Side of the Moon Redux. I hated this when it came out. Could not stand it. Thought it was completely unnecessary. I still think it's unnecessary. But, you know, I've separated it from, of course, the original Dark Side album. And so I do think it's interesting. And it's kind of grown on me in the sense that here you have an 80-year-old Roger reflecting back on an album he made in his 20s. And so in that respect, it has this nostalgic feel to it. And so it's grown on me. But I don't love it, but I thought it'd be an interesting one to add to the collection here, especially because I am a Roger Waters completist, and I've been holding off on buying this for a long time. But yeah, finally decided to go for it and buy it, and it has grown on me, so going to be listening to it, you know, and again, does not replace Dark Side, but still, it's fine for what it is, and I think it makes for, you know, a really cool kind of retrospective moment, you know, coming full circle at 80 years old. Queen weren't the only band that I bought in bulk. Also bought 4 here from Cradle of Filth. From 2021, Existence is Futile. We've got Midian from 2004. Probably my favorite Cradle of Filth record here with Cruelty and the Beast, and then Dusk and Her Embrace as well. So some great stuff here, and this is like the worst time to buy Cradle of Filth stuff, right? With all the drama going on with the band members leaving, stuff like that. Turns out Danny Filth is a terrible boss, but these albums are still classics for sure. 3 here from Glenn Danzig. We've got Red Sabbath from 2010, Circle of Snakes, and then 2015 Skeletons covers album here. Really cool, and Danzig's 21st century stuff is very underrated. I think it's overlooked a little bit. People tend to talk about his 90s work, his solo work a lot more often, of course, because that's the classic stuff, but there's some great stuff on these albums, and I'm very pleased to have finalized now my Danzig collection of studio albums, so needed these 3, was happy to pick them up. 2 singles here by Marilyn Manson. First, we've got the Fight song from the Hollywood record here, also including the Slipknot remix of the Fight song as well. Really cool. And then this one, I didn't know much about this. I'd heard these covers, but did not know much about this release here. Manson covering Working Class Hero by John Lennon and 5 to 1 by The Doors. And it says here this is for promotional use only, not for sale, released in 2000. So I don't know much about this. Probably have to hop on Discogs and a little bit more about this, but seems really cool. I've heard these covers in the past, so happy to add it to the collection. If anybody knows anything else, if this is a rarity or anything like that, please let me know down in the comments section. Let's talk some thrash metal here. I have 3 from Exodus. We've got Fabulous Disaster. Next up here, Tempo of the Damned from 2004. There's a powerhouse of a record here. I mean, so many great tracks. This is a scathing album by the band. And then Force of Habit as well from the 90s here. And this is kind of the most polarizing album in the Exodus catalog here. This is considered to be them selling out, if you will. I don't really subscribe to that, but I think it definitely has been commercializing like a lot of the thrash bands did. And there's some really solid stuff on here by the band stepping out of their comfort zone, stepping out of their thrash metal roots here. It is a bit long, so that's the only detractor for me, but otherwise some really solid material on here, and 3 from Exodus to add to the collection. Just a few miscellaneous metal albums here. We have Predator by Accept from 1996, the final with Udo Dirkschneider on lead vocals, and really overlooked album, I think. Accept did some very underrated work in the 90s. I think it talked about on the same level as their 80s stuff, but for some really heavy, scathing records there, including Predator, which, by the way, not an easy album to find, so very thrilled to have it, very happy to have found it. We've got Sabotage and Dead Winter Dead. Great record here from the Zach Stevens era of the band, and this is the album where you can really feel that transition, right? The evolution of the band moving into, more of that TSO direction. So, for that, I love this album. I think it's a really interesting period in the band's history. And then we've got Black Label Society and Mafia. Great stuff here by BLS, turning 20 this year. I've got 3 prog releases here from 3 separate bands. First, Ammonia Avenue by the Alan Parsons Project. Very fun record, some great stuff on here. Rush and Caress of Steel. A lot of great underrated tracks on here like Bastille Day, Lakeside Park, The Necromancer, The Fountain of Lemnith. So, some really underrated writing, I'd say, on this record, and crucial to the evolution of the band's sound as they would, become more progressive, and Neil Peart's lyricism would add a whole different dimension to the band. And then lastly here, we've got Dream Theater and Black Clouds and Silver Linings, their final album with Mike Portnoy on the drums until their most recent record, Parasomnia, but some great proggy pieces on here like Rite of Passage, A Nightmare to Remember, right, Account of Tuscany, The Best of Times, and then great ballad with Wither as well. And last but not least, like I said, we did have one vinyl purchase as well here. Alice Cooper, live at Glasgow at the Apollo Theater in 1982. This was from February 19th, 1982 on the Special Forces Tour here. And, this is not an era of Alice Cooper that is held in high regard by a lot of people. This is Alice deep into the blackout years here. But if you're a fan of this era like I am, I really wanted this. This was a Record Store Day exclusive from 2020. Finally got my hands on it here, right? And track listing, you got Who Do You Think We Are, which is great. Model Citizen, Go to Hell, Guilty, I'm 18, Cold Ethel, Only Women Bleed, No More Mr. Nice Guy, Clones, Under My Wheels, I Never Cry, 7 and 7 Is, Grim Facts, Pain, Billion Dollar Babies, Generation Landslide, and School's Out. So, great set list there. And again, like I said, not everyone's favorite era of Alice Cooper, but if you're a fan of this era, this is really good stuff, and so I'm really happy to have it. So that wraps up this video here, sharing with you guys some of my new CD purchases to the collection, a little bit of a collection update here today. The biggest CD haul we've done in quite a while, if ever, on the channel. So yeah, I wanted to share that with you guys here today. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel down below for more hauls like this, turn on the bell for notifications so you don't miss a new upload, and let me know down in the comment section below what are some new purchases you've added, whether it be CD
CD, vinyl, cassette, 8-track if you have it. Let me know down in the comment section what you've added to your collection recently. I want to hear from you. And until next time, it's the CD Guy, Johnny Z, signing off. Take care, everybody.